What's up, YouTube family? It's your guy Mark McNeely from Financial Abundance and Healthy Living. Welcome to the channel. I'm Mark McNeely. If you're brand new, if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. We appreciate you all for watching the video content. We appreciate you all for engaging with us. Definitely hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bell to all, because you never know when I'm going to drop some bangers such as this video today. So thank you all so much for supporting the channel and supporting one another, right? That's what this community is about. So definitely turn that notification bell to all. Also check the description box below this video for any type of products, services, or just one-on-one coaching and assistance. I'm actually running a discount with the one-on-one coaching for 50% off. So send me an email if you are interested in any of that information. With that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the content. So today, you may be wondering or asking, man, you've been dealing with halitosis for a very long time. Maybe you've been dealing with halitosis, bad breath, ever since you were, a kid or a teenager, or maybe you just somehow started experiencing halitosis or bad breath, as an adult. No matter how long you've had it or how short of a time period you've had it, it's definitely important for you all to look at these two particular digestive types of symptoms. So the first one is called IBS, which stands for irritable bowel syndrome, and the next one is called SIBO, SIBO, right, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So you may be asking, well, which one do I have? Do I have IBS? Do I have SIBO? How do I know which one that I have? So I'm going to try to answer this for you. This is definitely a tough one, right? Because IBS and SIBO, they kind of run parallel, right? They run hand in hand, right? It's like you can't have one more than likely without the other. It is possible, but more than likely, if you have IBS, then IBS is an extension of SIBO, which is pretty much the aftermath, right? It's just like if you were sick and you had a sickness, right? It started out as one thing, but then those symptoms trickle over to something else, which is definitely much more severe, but the symptoms are the same. So that's the same thing. So do you have SIBO or do you have IBS? So let's cover IBS. So irritable bowel syndrome is a common disorder that affects the stomach and the intestines, also called the gastrointestinal tract. So some of the symptoms that you may have, or for IBS, is considered as cramping, right? You may have these subtle cramps, or you may have abdominal pain, right? So for me, I'll use myself as an example. One of the things I noticed when I was breaking free from and trying to figure out what was the reason for halitosis, I used to get subtle stomach cramps. It wouldn't be every day. Sometimes I would notice it after I would eat, or just depending on what I would eat, I would get like a little subtle cramp in the midsection, in my abdomen area. So it wouldn't be to the point where I'm bending over and I'm like, I need to go to the emergency room, but it was there. I knew that I had cramps from time to time. Also, you can be experiencing bloatingness, right? So bloating, your stomach just feel bloated. It may protrude, or you may struggle with trying to button up your pants or your shorts a lot of times. Also, gas and diarrhea are also symptoms, as well as constipation, or both. So you can have diarrhea and or constipation. All right, so that is something. These are some of the symptoms. Also, you can be in a depressive state or have a depressive mood a lot of the times, right? You just feeling down on life, don't really want to be around people. You get the drift. So these are all of the symptoms that IBS actually basically can give you. Now, in terms of SIBO, just know that all of the symptoms that I mentioned for IBS are similar or the same symptoms for SIBO, right? So it's the same thing with SIBO. So we're going to cover those symptoms just so that you all know. Now, they may have a little bit, like I said, more aggressive type symptoms. So you may experience loss of appetite when you have SIBO, but it's not always the case, right? But the abdominal pain, that's a similar symptom as IBS. You can, be very nauseous, or you can experience the bloatingness. You can have an uncomfortable feeling of fullness after you eat. Like, let's say you ate something and you didn't even eat a whole lot, but you feel uncomfortable, or like you feel extremely full. You can also have diarrhea. You can have unintentional weight loss, and most importantly, you can suffer malnutrition, which a lot of times you're not going to know that you are lacking certain nutrients unless you get tested, right? Unless you undergo a test for SIBO, and to where they look at your digestive system, they look at your gut, they look at your permeability from the stool, and they'll be able to tell you more. Your doctor will be able to tell you more about whether you are deficient with nutrients. So the problem is these bacteria, ladies and gentlemen, they strip away the bad bacteria strip away the good bacteria in your gut, causing it to be imbalanced, right? So the more you eat, a lot of times it just stems from a diet. Your diet is just not the best diet over time, right? So if you drink alcohol, sometimes if you smoke, if you eat a lot of processed foods, fatty foods, foods that are high in sugar, over time, these things will break your system down, and it causes your digestive system to just wear down. So when you have IBS can really set the atmosphere or set the tone for SIBO, which means it just basically means that there's a more than normal amount of bad bacteria entering and living inside of the small intestines. Once you get those bacteria into the small intestines, that is when and only when you will start to have problems. Many of you may experience, and many of you have experienced, where you smell, right? Or people can smell you and you're not even talking. Or you can walk by someone and they'll say, "Hey, what is that smell?" Or, "Hey, did someone just fart?" Or, "Did someone just pass gas?" Right? Or you may be very bloated and you're just passing gas and you're just uncomfortable, right? So there's so many different just after effects of having IBS, right? And it's confusing a lot of times. So most times when you have IBS, a lot of times you would want to treat it as if you had SIBO, because again, the symptoms, they are interconnected. They cross paths with each other. Okay. So for SIBO, for those of you that want to focus in on SIBO and say, well, hey, I love to see if I have SIBO, because SIBO is now, if you do have SIBO, you're now dealing with a hydrogen and a methane issue. So if you have a hydrogen and a methane issue, that simply means that you are dealing with gases. You can't hide a gas. A toothpaste can't treat a gas. A mouthwash can't treat a gas. You have to deal with gas at its source, which is the bacteria. So what you have to do is you have to go on a SIBO type diet, or you can go on a IBS type diet and see how you feel. Normally, sometimes the minimum 14 days, but they can go all the way up to 4 to 8 weeks. So you would go on a diet, and then what you would do is focus on taking either a antibiotic, or you can take a herbal supplement, which I'll come out with another video sharing with you guys how these herbal supplements can actually work just as well as taking a strong antibiotic, right? The antibiotics are very expensive, all right? Some of my students have shared with me the cost of antibiotics for SIBO, but there are natural herbs that you can take in combination with having a really good food diet, right? A SIBO or a IBS food diet, and that is going to help you with killing off the bacteria. It's pretty much going to starve the bacteria, and it's going to reduce the bacteria levels that are inside of the gut, which in return is going to balance out your gut and balance out your system. So when you talk or when you breathe, you're not offending people with your breath. That is the root of pretty much halitosis. It stems from within the gut. So the key is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, is just figuring out what symptoms you have and then trying to move forward with that, with the symptoms. All right. So for SIBO, the way you first of all identify SIBO is you would have to get a breath test. Some doctors would do it. You can look online in your local area. Look up breath tests. But basically, what it does is, um, you basically, you're testing for levels of hydrogen and or methane gas. So you can have one or the other. You can have a hydrogen bacteria levels, or you can have a methane bacteria levels. And a lot of nutritionists will give different diets for hydrogen and methane. So it would be good to try to get a doctor to analyze whether you have the hydrogen gas or the methane gas, right? But they will test for both. And also, you can also see about your levels of minerals and vitamins within the system: vitamin A, K, D, E, iron, magnesium. All of these levels will be able to show whether you are deficient um, or not based on these tests. So I think they're very important. So that's just a side note for you guys. So again, once you take the test, sometimes you can take a stool test as well. So breath test, stool test. Some of your ear, nose, and throat or GI doctors would do an endoscopy test, um, and they'll collect small cultures and check for bacteria overgrowth. But for the most part, sometimes it can be missed with an endoscopy, because I know a lot of people have had an endoscopy and they were told everything looks good, everything's okay. You gotta dig a little deeper. So this is something that I believe can help a lot of you all. So again, you want to look up low FOD map food diet or low FOD map food, and I'll leave a link in the description box where you guys can check out some diets. And also, you want to try to focus in on taking two herbal supplements that I know for sure will kill off the methane and will kill off the hydrogen gases. One being berberine. Berberine is very, very good supplement. Also, you can take oregano oil, right? Or some people say oil of oregano. All right. So berberine, um, basically, some people can have some symptoms from berberine, but for the most part, it's been pretty natural and very, very good for you. All right. So some of the benefits of berberine is as follows. I'm going to give you guys some of the symptoms. I'm sorry, some of the benefits of berberine. So berberine benefits are very, very good. Um, it's designed to help regulate your blood sugar levels. It's designed to increase your energy levels, right? So when you have these bacteria going on, a lot of times they strip away your energy, right? You're not able to receive the nutrients from the food that you are eating, even when you are eating good. Um, these bacteria strips away and take away your nutrients, which is designed to give you energy. It's designed to help improve your cardiovascular health, also your immune system, right? And so you can take a 500 milligram of berberine, right? Take it up to 3 times per day. Take it on an empty stomach when you first started, and then take it lunchtime and dinner time. Also, you can take the oregano oil or oil of oregano. Same thing, you can get 500 milligrams, 1,000 milligrams. They have different ones, and you can take that also 3 times per day. And very, very good. Good for you. It's good for balancing out the gut. It's good for killing off bacteria. It's good for killing off the methane gases. Very, very good for people that suffer from high blood sugar levels. It basically will level you out, your sugar levels. It will lower your blood sugar, guys. So these are all of the things that you need to really, really just have a healthy system. All right. Oil of oregano is good for everything: fungus, antimicrobial, kill off bacteria, yeast. I mean, it kills off anything. So with these two in combination, the hydrogen and the methane gases, they do not like it. They can't survive as long as you're having a very good diet. And so over time, as you're continuing to eat well and be on the supplements, you should start to see a notice, and those bad breath smells should go away. So let me know what you guys think about this video, this information. Comment below, let me know. And I hope this helps. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.